Welcome to week 2 of Explore the Bible. Today we're continuing in the book of John. Here's the winter quarter is coming along, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago. Christmas is coming up soon. We're looking forward to that, and I hope you're having a great Christmas as well. We're going to dive into this passage looking at the beginning of Jesus calling disciples, followers, to walk with him over the next 3-year period of time. But before we do that, be sure and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Like, comment, share with others. If you've got questions, put those in the comments. We're happy to answer whatever those questions may be. Let's look at John chapter 1. Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, was one of the two who heard John and followed him. This is John the Baptist, right? He first found his own brother Simon and told him, "We have found the Messiah," which is translated the Christ. And he brought Simon to Jesus. When Jesus saw him, he said, "You are Simon, son of John. You will be called Cephas," which is translated Peter. Okay. So I think part of this that I hope you understand is that when these events happen, it's not like they just met Jesus and heard him and then immediately followed him. It seems clear that there is some kind of a prior relationship with Jesus, and we piece this together from some of the other stories and things that we have, where Jesus has been was baptized by John the Baptist, has been speaking now, has begun his public ministry, and he's beginning to draw crowds. And John the Baptist is having his followers that are also listening to Jesus because John is pointing them towards Jesus. And then Jesus begins to call them. And so that's how they're getting called out, okay? For many of these, it's not the first time they've ever met Jesus. A couple of them it is, but for many it's not. Okay, and then we have this guy, Simon Peter. Peter, we know, is maybe probably one of the two, along with John, two most popular, written about, well-known of the disciples. But what I like about this is we also have this guy, his brother, Andrew. Now, Andrew's not one of the three of the inner circle. Peter, James, and John are the inner circle. Andrew's not in that inner circle, even though he's Peter's brother. James and John are brothers, and then you've got Peter, but Andrew's not in there. Andrew, it seems, is always bringing people to see Jesus, to meet Jesus. Andrew's the one who brings Peter. And it's kind of like Billy Graham. People know Billy Graham, but they don't know who it is that brought Billy Graham to Jesus. People may know other famous believers throughout history, but they don't know who it is that shared the gospel with them. Where they learned it. We know these people that are famous, but there's often someone very quiet behind them. Andrew's that guy, right? Everybody knows Peter, but not many of us know much about Andrew, right? So Andrew was one of the two who heard John and followed him. That is, he listened to what John the Baptist had said, you need to go after Jesus, so he started following. He first found his own brother. The first thing he did is he found Simon, and he said, "We found the Messiah, the Christ," right? Messiah, Christ, same word here, the anointed one, the one we've been waiting for, literally for thousands of years, prophesied about, really first prophesied about in Genesis chapter 3. We found him that we've been waiting for since Genesis chapter 3. And he brought Simon to Jesus. And when Jesus saw him, he said, "You are Simon, the son of John. You will be called Cephas," which is translated Peter or rock. Right? So he immediately comes. Then we have this guy. The next day, Jesus decided to leave for Galilee, and he found Philip, and he told him, "Follow me. Follow me, Philip." Philip was from Bethsaida, the hometown of Andrew and Peter. Same place, right? So there's some friendships, no doubt, there already, right? Relationship already. Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and so did the prophets, Jesus, the son of Joseph, from Nazareth." Okay? Similar, we found the Messiah. We found the one Moses wrote about in the law and the prophets. Okay? So we found him. His name is Jesus. He's the son of Joseph. He's from Nazareth. He gets very specific, right? This guy, which is to say, in a sense, you know him. He's the son of Joseph from Nazareth. Remember Jesus? We've seen him before. "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Nathanael asked him. This is everywhere, no matter where you live, everybody's got a place like Nazareth nearby them, right? You say, oh, nothing good ever came from there. And I don't know where you live, and I don't know where that place is. Maybe in the comments tell me, where is that place? Where do you live, and where's that place? And I guarantee whatever that place is that you talk about, they've got a place too, okay? They've got a place that they talk about. I don't want to be from there, And then those people, they got a place they talk about too, where I don't want to be from there. And it might be back around, maybe it's a circle, I don't know. But he says, anything good come out of Nazareth? You got to be kidding me. From Nazareth? What good ever came from Nazareth? There's nothing good coming out of Nazareth. Come and see, Philip answered. Then Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him. So Nathanael comes to see Jesus, not because of Jesus, but because of Philip. That's why he comes. He comes to see Jesus, not because he wants to see Jesus, but because Philip told him to. And he knows Philip, and he trusts Philip, and he loves Philip, so he'll do it for Philip's sake, right? Hey, some people that may not come to Jesus for Jesus initially. They might just come because they trust you and they know you. And you're enough to get them in the door, right? To get the introduction. So that's what happened. Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him, and he said about him, here truly is an Israelite in whom there is no deceit. How do you know me? Nathanael asked. Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you, Jesus answered. Okay, now what does this mean? He's an Israelite in whom there's no deceit. I think what it means is there's a straight shooter. There's a guy that tells you what he thinks. There's a guy that he thinks it, he says it. He's not hiding anything. He has no secret agenda. He is all out here, right? Everything, what you see is what you get. That's who Nathanael is. There's no deceit. He is not trying to do something else while he's smiling at you. He's either all in or all out, but you know where he stands, right? That's why he says, anything good come out of Nazareth? How do you know me? He says, well, I saw you when you were sitting on that fig tree before Philip called you. Now, listen, I don't know what this means. I'm just going to tell you. Did it mean he saw him supernaturally? He wasn't there? Where he saw him over there, he did see me. He knew where he was, and he knew that guy. I need that guy. But Nathanael is impressed, right? He knew me before he met me. Rabbi, Nathanael replied, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. Wow, we went from, can anything good come out of Nazareth, to you are the Son of God and you are the King of Israel. And Jesus responded to him, do you believe because I told you I saw you under the fig tree? You'll see greater things than this. Didn't take much to impress you, did it? You were easy. Listen, some people are ready. Some people are just ready to believe. And what's interesting about this to me is Nathanael did not seem to be one of those guys. Right? And you go back here, can anything good come out? He didn't seem to be one of those guys that was ready to believe. But you get right here, and he was. He was ready to believe in Jesus. He didn't know it, but he was. I don't know what's happening for Nathanael, if there's something going on in his life, but that somehow he is being prepared. And Philip went to go get him. Philip didn't know that. There are people that you're going to meet, that you're going to invite to church, that you're going to talk to you about Christ, that you're going to share the gospel with, that want nothing to do with it. But there are some people who will look exactly like the first group. In some ways, act exactly like the first group. But because of something that's happening and how God is moving in their lives, unbeknownst to you, and maybe even to them, when they get that invitation, when they hear that gospel, they are ready to say yes. And there's no way that you can just look at them and tell. You can't. So you just have to share with everybody, because you don't know who it is that's going to be ready to say yes. You don't know who it is that's going to be ready to fall at Jesus' feet and say, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. You are my King. You just don't know who, so you share it with everybody. We bring people to Jesus. Philip and Andrew brought people to Jesus. That's our role, is to bring people to Jesus, to introduce them to Jesus. And some of those people, when you introduce them, are ready to say yes. And you don't know who they are, just share with them. Just tell them. Thanks for watching. Hey, I appreciate you being a part of this group, watching every week. Thanks so much for that. Thanks for teaching. Well, God bless you for teaching. Really appreciate that. Be sure and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Like the video, share it with others. Give us a comment. Tell me, where is that place that where you live? They all talk about that place. What place is that where you live? All right. We'll see you next time.